Hello and welcome back to VEDS. In my challenge video, I asked y'all a question. What is your desert island media? Not what 7 books you would want to take onto a desert island with you, but if you were on a desert island and you could only have access to one type of media, you could have access to all that type of media, but only one type, what would it be? And today I kind of want to go through process of elimination to decide what my answer will be. So without further ado, let's start eliminating things and starting out looking at the type of media that I consume probably most in my day-to-day life, podcasts. Now the big pro to podcasts here is while you're doing your kind of menial work that would require like survival on a desert island, you would probably be able to pass the time pretty quickly with podcasts. The downside is that I mainly listen to 2 types of podcasts: current event podcasts and pop culture podcasts. The first of which just wouldn't matter to me because I am stuck in permanent exile on a desert island. I will be honest, I don't really care what's going on in the rest of the world if I can't be a part of it. And the second one would just kind of make me sad because I'd be hearing about all these types of media that I cannot participate in. So podcasts are out. And let's move to the next one, which is very related: internet video. Very related because once again, current events and pop culture are 2 of the big genres that I pick. However, I feel like there's another big con that is kind of weighing on internet video, and that's that it's such a new medium that it probably wouldn't have enough stuff to entertain me. I would be able to burn through the majority of stuff that I'd want to watch pretty quickly, and then I'd just kind of hit a wall. Also, I would just get sad every time a September happened because there'd be VEDS and I could not do VEDS. I guess a pro of it would be that the comment section would provide a little bit of socialization, but I feel like there are better ways of socializing that we will get to later on. You then have comics, which because I talk about them all the time, you might assume that they would be the one to take with me. And yes, I would love to just have time to read all of Detective Comics or something. But in reality, so much of what I love about comics is talking about them and discussing them with other people. What's the point in me being able to read every single X-Men comic that has ever existed if I can't go into the living room and bug Joe about it? Moving from comic books to regular books, I don't really have a good reason why I'm not putting books on the list, and I feel like you could even cheat the system a little bit and get like some survival books that would help you. But every time you cheat the system in one of these games, it kind of takes away the fun. The real reason I'm not putting books as my choice is because there are other things that I want on my choice. No real reasoning behind it, just them's the breaks. TV shows, I like movies more, basically. Also, I can't finish most TV shows I start, not because of a lack of time or interest, just because I don't see that really changing on a desert island. Video games, they'd be extremely satisfying for long periods of time. They would give me a sense of productivity because I'd be completing them. However, I can only spend so much time in front of a screen before I just kind of get my brain frazzled for the day. Actually, that might help because then I won't just be doing media the whole time to distract me. I will actually be able to get to my menial tasks. But no, I want media to distract me. Video games, not a bad choice, but not going for them. Now, non-video games, this is the choice that Abby made in their video. And I think it's a really good one. The big thing there is the socialization aspect. I have a couple other choices that will kind of explain the appeal to socialization a little bit later, but none of those have the interactivity of gaming. And it would probably be a very convoluted and inconvenient but successful way of me breaking the cycle of me being a forever DM and actually getting to play D&D as a player again. But here's the big reason why I wouldn't go for gaming. And to explain it, I need to talk about the next option, music. I need music. I just do. I can give up like my Spotify and listening to like just whatever song picks my fancy, but I need the music to be included in the media that I choose. And while yes, you can play music to enhance your D&D game, there's a big difference between like watching a movie and seeing like a music montage or seeing a play like a musical and hearing someone perform than sitting in a room with some people rolling dice while the Skyrim theme plays in the background. So while I still think that gaming is the best choice if you are trying to max out the socialization factor of this media, I think it's the wrong choice for me personally. And I kind of hinted to the other two options that are kind of battling for it, and that's movies, which should be no surprise. I love movies, and they mix in a lot of elements of theater and literature and music and photography and all this great stuff. But then there's not really a socialization aspect to movies. I mean, I guess I could stretch it and be like, every time I go and see a movie on this desert island, it's like I'm seeing it opening night. But even then, I feel like that's maybe stretching the premise a little too thin. And it's not as much of a connection to the other people involved as live theater would be. Because live theater, even if you are the only person watching the play or musical, there is still the people up on stage, and you're still in the same room with them. And one of the ways that I connect most abstractly to people is hearing them perform like music or like a soliloquy or something. So even though I am just politely sitting in the theater and not saying anything, I feel like there would be a social connection to that. There would obviously be the music that would be fulfilled. And so, interestingly enough, even though it is probably the type of media that I consume the least in my everyday life, I think live theater would have to be my go-to desert island media. Anyway, the good news is that I will never end up in this situation and that I can enjoy all media. So continue to be paralyzed by choice by the sheer amount of media that is continually at our fingertips, friends and fellow VEDSies, and I will see you tomorrow.